Good morning, one and all. My name is Akshay Rajpurohit, and I'm the team lead of batch AG10. Our major project is remote monitoring of radiation and environmental conditions with Telegram Responder Bot. So, the gist of the project is to remotely monitor the radiation, temperature, and humidity of a particular environment, and then relay that information onto an endpoint on the internet for remote control and visualization. So this is the block diagram of our project, wherein we have the DHT sensor, radiation sensor as the hardware input components, and the Skyhook Precision Location Software Development Kit is the software input component, and the Skyhook Precision Location module is used to determine the location without having to use a GPS module. And these three modules are connected to the Raspberry Pi, where the Raspberry Pi fetches the readings from these sensors and then pushes it to the InfluxDB instance that I've hosted on a cloud VPS, and Grafana is used to visualize the readings, and the Grafana will collect these readings from InfluxDB, and then there's a Telegram responder bot which we can interact with from anywhere in the world, again because since it's a remote project, and we can fetch the readings from the database, and the Telegram responder bot also alerts us in case the values cross a certain threshold. So this is the flow diagram. It's a pretty simple flow diagram. We just read the values of radiation monitor and DHT sensor. We write them to InfluxDB, and simultaneously we visualize them using Grafana. If the values cross a certain threshold, then we send alert messages on Telegram. So these are the hardware and software requirements. Um, so let me just demonstrate all of that physically. Thank you.
This is the Geiger Miller tube. It is used to detect the radiations, and it's basically a tube that's filled with gas, and the gas would be a noble gas. So in this particular Geiger tube, it's a mixture of neon and helium. This is the DC to DC boost converter, which converts a 5 volts input voltage to around 350 to 400 volts DC, and that is the operating voltage for the Geiger-Müller GM tube. And this is a pretty simple DHT sensor. It senses the humidity and temperature up to 5% accuracy on both. And finally, this is the Raspberry Pi. This particular make and model of Raspberry Pi is Raspberry Pi 4B. It has 8 gigs of RAM, and the SD card that I'm using is of 32 gigabytes. So this is the single board Linux computer that I'll be using to control and read values from my radiation sensor and from the DHT sensor. Once the connections are made to the Raspberry Pi, this is how the whole setup looks like.
Okay guys, so now that I've shown you the connections between the Raspberry Pi and the Giga counter module and the DHT module, it is time for me to show you the values that I'm reading using these sensors. And to do that, I have to log into my Raspberry Pi using SSH. So I've done that already. So let me go ahead and show you the readings that I'm collecting over here. So these are the values that the Giga counter module is giving me, and these are well within the normal ranges. So the values are being printed simultaneously, and they are also being fed into the database that I've hosted online. So now I'll show you the values of the DHT sensor module. Okay, so these are also pretty standard values. Temperature is 31 degrees Celsius and humidity is 72%. So again, just like with the Giga counter module, even in this case the values are being simultaneously printed out onto the screen, and they're also being fed into the database. So now the final module is the Skyhook Precision Location, and this is a replacement for our physical GPS sensors. And the many advantages of using one of the most important advantages of using a software module is it takes very less time for the software module to determine a location, whereas with the physical module there's a lot it takes time to lock on to at least 3 satellites, and then that causes delay. So this we'll get our location immediately, and it is pretty accurate. So I'm calling in location requests every 5 minutes. So yeah, so these the coordinates are being printed out onto the screen. So the latitude is 78.48 and longitude is 17.39, north and east. So yeah, again with the just like with the previous two modules, the values here are being printed out onto the screen and they're being written into the database as well. So now let me show you the values that are that are fed into the database. The first thing that I want to show you is the virtual machine that we've installed on Microsoft Azure. So it is on this virtual machine that I'm hosting the database, a simple web page, and a Grafana. So this is the simple web page. You can go to this IP address right now. You can see this web page. It is basically a simple info page. It just shows the title of our project and the team members. So next, this is the database. It is located on the same IP address but on port number 8086. So once I'm in the database, I'm able to show you these. Once you log into the database, you'll be able to view the values that are being written into this that are being written. So this is the latitude. So these are the values that we are writing: latitude, longitude, humidity, temperature, and radiation. The units for radiation are microsieverts per hour. And so yeah, so if you click on latitude, you can see that the time here is yeah, 2021 26 June 17:05 GMT, and that is the time that's that it was last. I mean, that is a time where the sensor values were read and fed. So again, similarly with the longitude and the humidity, I have to scroll down a lot, but yeah, for the latest readings, yeah, here you go. So 2021 26 June at 5:08 p.m. and yeah, and this is the temperature at 5:08 p.m. and this is the radiation again at 5:08 p.m. Okay, so the advantage of hosting a database on hosting a database and connecting it with the hardware modules is, obviously we can monitor these values from anywhere in this world. This website is public, so anybody can, if they know the credentials, of course, they can log into to this database from anywhere in this world, and they can monitor these values accordingly, and even the website as well. So the next thing that I have to show you is Grafana. So I have connected Grafana with the InfluxDB database, and I'm fetching these values from Grafana, from InfluxDB as well, from InfluxDB itself. So we have three visualizations: radiation versus time, temperature versus time, and humidity versus time. This is a continuous plot, and this is a gauge reading which will show us the last value. We can expand this, of course, and we can see, we can we can hover our mouse on a particular data point, and it will show us the time and the value as well. So I can do the same thing for temperature and humidity as well, but they'll mostly be straight lines, because the temperature doesn't change that much when I'm in my home. But let's say this module is deployed in some scientific area, in a scientific laboratory, so then we'll be able to see the changes. Okay, so that was it for the database and the Grafana part. So now I'll show you the Telegram bot part. Okay, so now I'll show you the Telegram bot module. The first thing that you have to do is go search for AG10_bot, and then go to the one that has the VBIT logo as its DP. Then click on start. So now it gives us a welcome message, so I can simply ask it for help, and then it will give me a menu. So now I can ask it for radiation, and then it will give me the radiation data. So similarly, I can ask for temperature, and that is what I'll get. And similarly for humidity, and if you want all, then you can get all. There you go. So now I've set the threshold values for the temperature and humidity a little low because I want to demonstrate the alert mechanism feature. So again in the same bot, I'll set the threshold low. So now I'll start getting the alert messages. Yeah. So the threshold I've set for temperature is 20 degrees centigrade, and for humidity 30%. So whatever values we get, if they're greater than those set values, then we'll start getting alerts. So I'll show you how the notification system works. Yeah, so I'm getting notifications over here. So that is how the project works.